Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So this week I'm going to show you how to take your portrait assignment from this to this. Okay, how to add the these colored dots, how to add the speech or thought bubble, and the text. Okay, so video number 1 is going to be how to add the dots effect, and then video number 2 will be the speech bubble. So let's get started. You should be finished with your coloring by now. Everything should be fully colored. Since last I spoke with you, I decided to add my lower teeth down here. I decided it made me look slightly less crazy. I've got my background color. Everything's filled in, and it looks good, and I'm happy with it. Okay, so here's what you're going to do next. Once you are completely finished with this in Gravit, you are going to click, you're going to save it first of all. So I'm going to save to their class. So it's up here, synchronize. I'll give that a second. And now I'm going to be clicking export JPEG image, okay? Because we're going to add this to our image in Photopea, okay? So this is the third time I've exported this because I've been practicing this before we started. Okay, so in Photopea, let me close this because I'm going to start over. Close. Okay. So in Photopea, here's what you're going to do. You're going to open, and what you want to open is actually the original photograph that you worked on top of in Gravit, okay? You are not opening, I'm not opening my Gravit drawing yet. I'm going to open my photograph first. Most of you saved those in the Google Drive for our class, so you can go and retrieve it from there if you need to. It should still be there because Gravit is saved. You saved that in the cloud. So the original photo should still be available to you. So mine is in my pictures. I just used my computer camera to do this. Okay, so here's my original photograph. And the first thing I'm going to do is turn this into that dots thing I just showed you. So to begin with, we want to turn it black and white. And the way that we do that is by clicking down here on the adjustment layer panel. And you can click black and white, and that will turn it black and white. You can mess with these sliders if you want to. What these do is they adjust specific colors. So if you remember, my glasses were red originally, so I can adjust just the red. So if I bring this, I can make my a little darker. And you may not fully understand what this does until, why this is important rather, until we get to the end of the video. So you may want to watch this all the way through till the end before you determine how you're going to adjust these. Okay, I'm going to stop there. When you're done with the panel, you click this icon right here, or this word, to make it go away. So I've turned it black and white. Now I want to adjust the values. You should remember values from Intro to Drawing, how light or dark a color is. You want to adjust it so that it is what I would call blown out. So you want the whites to be very, very white and the darks to be pretty dark, but basically you want it to be very, very light in most areas. So I'm going to click my new adjustment layer button again, and then I'm going to go to, I like to use the levels. I think that's usually the fastest way to do this. And so I'm going to slide these over. So you can see that if I slide this one over, it's making the dark things darker. If I slide this thing over, it's going to make the light things lighter. And I'm only looking at my face and skin in my hand here. I want to preserve some of the shadows. So I don't want to lose these shadows here on the back of my hand. I don't want to lose the shadows around my wrinkles in my skin and everything. I wish I could zoom out. Let me zoom out a little bit so I can see the whole thing. My screen is not very big, sadly. So anyway, did I move this? No. I want to try to preserve some shadows. I don't want to go too aggressive, but you are going to adjust this to a level that you would never turn this in in a photograph. You want to really get it very, very, what I would call blown out. Let's try to adjust this, make it a little darker. Okay, let's try that. All right, so I can click this. So here is kind of what I'm going to call the problem area. In order to apply a filter to this, you have to you can't have these different adjustment levels. So you really, once you apply the filter, if you want to go back and make adjustments, you have to unapply the filter and then make your adjustments. This will make sense in a second. So what I'm going to do is take all three of my layers here. I'm going to hold the shift key and click on the bottom one. So let me do that again. I was clicked on the top one. I'm going to hold the shift key, click on the bottom one, so I'm selecting all three. Now I'm going to go to layer and merge those layers. Okay, so now they've all become one layer. They're no longer independently editable. Next, I'm going to apply a filter. I'm going to go to Filter, Pixelate, Color Halftone. Move this aside. So now you can see I'm getting those dots. Let me zoom again. No. Let me X out of this so I can zoom in a little so I can see what I'm doing. Filter, Pixelate, Color Halftone. Let me move this aside so I can see. And now, again, you can play with these sliders. They're going to be a little different for every photograph. It depends on the camera you used and how high definition the photo is. So if you want larger dots, this is the radius of the dots. Don't go too crazy. Or you can kind of make them smaller. You can also just manually type in, maybe I want to try 6 pixels. I think that's okay. You can mess around with these different angles. They don't really make a huge difference in my opinion, but you can find something that you like. All right. Once you have finished that step, you can click OK. And now we're going to add your colored image from Gravit into this image. So I'm going to go to File, Open and Place. And you already download your image from Gravit. So that's going to be in my downloads. Sometimes it takes a second to pop up. There it goes. Okay, here's my portrait. I'm going to add that. Okay, so it's added it as another layer. I'm going to take this layer and drag it under the first layer. You can't see it. How is this going to work? What you have to do is you have to take this one, the dots layer, change this is called the blend mode, and I'm going to change it to multiply. And what it does is it makes it somewhat transparent so that all the white stuff is going transparent, all the white spaces. So now I've sort of added these dot layers on top of my portrait. All right, so once you've added your dot layer, what you're going to do is go around and erase the background. Okay, so you're just going to take your eraser and erase off that background. Make sure that you are using multiple passes to do this. And the reason for that is if you are going very slowly down the side of this head and you kind of screw up and you erase something you didn't mean to, well, I have to Command Z to undo, and now I've lost all my progress up here. But if I kind of like just take little clicky bites out of things, if I mess up, I only have to back up 1 or 2 clicks. I don't have to back up a whole stroke. So do what works best for you. But if you just hold the mouse down and keep erasing, you make a mistake, you're going to lose, a few minutes of effort, which can just be kind of irritating. Okay. So then you're going to erase your background. You want to keep the dots on your person, but erase the stuff around them so you have a nice clean background. So I'm going to spend a few minutes erasing, and then I will show you the end product. Okay, so you can see I've erased all the dots off of my background. They are only on my sort of photograph area. And now I can stop at this point. And then in the next video, I will show you how to add a speech bubble or a thought bubble to this. I do want to show you one more. If you get this in it and you decide that you need to change something, you need to make a change to a skin color or something along those lines. Maybe you made the hair too dark or the skin too dark, and once you got the dots on there, it started to look a little crazy. So what you're going to do if that happens is go back to Gravit, and then you can make the adjustment to that color. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and make my hair, I'm going to make it like super bright red. Okay. Okay. Now I can do File, Export as a JPEG again. Just going to download it again. I can go back into here. I can delete this layer. I can, these are all my erasings. I can do File, Open in Place. And then I can wait for this to load. Okay, here's my red-haired version. Open. Just drag it under. Drag it under this one. And I've got an updated version. So if we were at school using Illustrator and Photoshop, you could force this to live update, but obviously we don't have that option right now. So if you need to make a change and then reinsert it back into Photopea, that's not an issue. Just make sure you do it before you do any like major cropping or anything. So there you go. Next video, again, I'm going to show you how to add a speech bubble and crop it and finish up so it'll be ready to turn in. Thanks, guys.